Just Baseball Show. Today is Tuesday, April 29th. Jack, Peter, as always, we are brought to you by.
The sports book born in Vegas that is BetMGM. Remember, folks, use promo code JustBaseball on BetMGM for that first bet offer up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first wager loses. But remember, terms and conditions apply, must be 21 years or older. And of course, gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. I'm excited for the show. Good idea, I think.
I think so. It was a Peter idea. That's why he thinks it's a good idea. But here's what we're
Correct.
going to do. We are going to revisit the major deals from this offseason. So, really, every multi year deal or three plus, there were some two deal, like some lower price 2 year deals that we're going to stay away from. But really, every major deal that was signed this offseason, we're going to kind of revisit. How have you been the first month of the season and all that? So, I'm looking forward to it. We're going to go from like Christian Walker to Juan Soto, and it's going to be fun. But no, I think great idea, Peter. Congrats to you for being awesome and creative and handsome.
Thank you very much. I agree with everything you just said. But can we flex for you a little bit? For all those watching on YouTube, you see Jack in a booth right now, and he's got the shades, but he's got the field in front of him. Is it possible to show the people on YouTube your view right now without screwing up your computer or anything?
It is. So can I
Okay.
tell you? Can I tell you? I did the most basic thing ever today. I went to Erewhon. I went to the grocery store and I got a sushi roll that was $20. It was awesome. But we landed in LA last night. Birds are chirping.
Mm.
I need my sunglasses. And first time at this ballpark, but this is my view right now.
For all
Just
those
at
watching
Dodger
on YouTube.
Stadium.
So if anybody's listening on audio right now, just pop over to the YouTube, watch the intro because you can see Jack's view right now. It's just freaking gorgeous. You got to feel like a real big leaguer right now. I mean, doesn't get much better than that.
This is a pinch me moment. Like
Yeah.
I've said I have a pinch me moment every single day. This is one of those that just smacks you in the face. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you're doing this, huh?
Yeah.
It's like, all right, the imposter syndrome's unbelievable, but you know what? We move, and I'm excited. We got Shohei and Mookie as the front two in this lineup, and it's just kind of hard to believe, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Talking about imposter syndrome, I mean, you deserve it. But I bet you think at some points, like, how the hell did they let me up here?
Yeah,
Like,
yes,
who is in that
100%.
who is in that room making those decisions let Jack McMullen up here? That's how I would be thinking, even though you obviously deserve
Like
it.
one of my favorite nights out is just Chili's, like Friday night at Chili's, and here I am sitting in Dodger Stadium. But yeah,
Friday night Chili's guys shouldn't be the broadcasters for major league teams. But
no,
if you think about it, maybe they should.
I'm
Maybe they
all
should.
for it.
I'm all for it too.
Should we get to the multi-year deals?
Let's do it.
Let's get to the multi-year deals. I want to start kind of going position by position here. Like I went first base, second base, shortstop, third base. So it's not like we're going to get Soto out of the way first. I think position by position is kind of fun because we're just looking at, okay, what's the contract you signed and how are you doing so far? So an interesting one to me has been Pete Alonso. And obviously he is hitting what he's worth right now. But Alonso sat in free agent limbo for a while. He ended up coming back for a 1 year, $30 million deal with the Mets in 25 and a player option in 2026. This guy is steamrolling towards exercising his player option and hitting free agency. He leads the National League in OPS at 1097. In 28 games, he's hitting 333 with 11 doubles, 6 homers, 26 driven in 28 games, and he's slugging 646. I think my favorite number about Pete Alonso, 18 extra base hits so far this year, 18 strikeouts,
Yeah.
122 plate appearances. This guy has K'd 18 times. So he's not punching out. He's obliterating the baseball. And he's hitting like one of the best first basemen in the game, which is the way he was hoping to be paid this offseason. Didn't happen, will happen this coming offseason.
You stole my takeaway. I wanted to focus on the doubles because in his rookie year, right, he hit 53 home runs. He was slugging close to 600, but out of the gate, he's slugging more than he ever has. And if I told Mets fans that at the beginning of the season, they would think, well, then Pete Alonso must have 11 or 12 home runs. He must be leading Major League Baseball because Pete Alonso in his career, he's hit plenty of home runs, but he hasn't always been a huge doubles guy, right? He's like 25 to 30 doubles. It's still great, but right now, he is one behind the lead, tied for second with another guy that we're going to discuss for the league in doubles. That's why he's slugging. Everything he's hitting right now is for extra bases. He's got a 60% hard hit rate. This guy is playing angry. Like we've talked about this at length. His free agency decision, having to go back to a team that you felt didn't even give you enough in an extension and then wouldn't give you the big time deal. That's why he wanted to leave in the first place. Then he goes back and now he's proving why he should have been paid more this offseason. And of course, he can still opt out of this deal, and he might if he's on this track and get a much bigger deal this offseason.
I like to think that he's also playing angry. I'm there with you. I just wonder who he's angry with. Who would you be angry with in Pete Alonso's case?
I think sometimes you make up villains for yourself. Like some
Sure,
of these
yeah.
incredible competitors, right? He's not mad at Mets fans. Maybe I don't think he's at the plate being like, fuck Steve Cohen for not giving me more, or
Mhm.
screw the other GM for not giving me more. I think he's probably inventing people to get mad at, and he's just playing
The
with
haters.
like
Yeah, it
the
could just be
haters.
that all-encompassing the haters, and you have no idea who the haters actually are. But if Pete Alonso is beating up the haters right now, I'm all for it.
And because it's kind of like Michael Jordan, right? When you watch The Last Dance, right? He's not quite Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan would just invent
No,
people
you
to get mad
create
at.
edge. Like the
Yes.
elite of the elite have to create edge. Do you remember Patrick Mahomes counting to 10 or
Yeah.
like counting to 9 for his draft spot? He was the
Oh
10th
yeah.
overall pick. Sometimes you just have to make stuff up in your mind to push you. And Alonso, like, I understand he's making $30 million a year, but the haters didn't give him that 5 year Prince Fielder deal
Exactly.
that he wanted. So screw the haters.
The
It's time for
media
Alonso to go.
the media talking about him, maybe, hey, you don't deserve this money. He's hearing
Sure.
talking heads like us, just fat guys in their basement talking about baseball. He's like, who are you to say that I don't deserve this money? So he's probably just inventing people, but he probably has some eyes out there of people that he's actually mad at. But
Yeah.
again, Mets fans don't care. They love to see this. He's second in baseball in WRC plus to start the year, right behind Aaron Judge.
And it's frightening contact every single time he
Yeah.
puts bat on ball. I'm like, this thing is coming off the bat at 115.
Oh yeah.
But them's the breaks for Pete Alonso right now. Okay, let's go to Christian Walker as it stands right now. Christian Walker signed that 3 year, $60 million contract with the Houston Astros that I think everybody was lauding when he did sign it. Three-time Gold Glove Award winner, won it each of the last 3 seasons. In 26 games, he's off to a really slow start. Yeah, he's got 3 homers, but he's hitting a buck 89. He's slugging 330. He's not walking. 8 walks in 106 plate appearances, and he has an OPS sitting at 600 exactly going into play on Monday. It hasn't been going well. He was hurt in spring training. I give him 2 weeks of a grace period, but we're a month in, and it's just not going well right now. I've heard the JA name thrown out. It's like, oh, the Astros first base job is a
Mm.
curse right now after Jose Abreu and now Christian Walker. I don't think you can do that to Christian Walker just yet, but I am starting to get a teensy bit nervous.
I'm not, just because you say a 2 week grace period. I'm giving him much longer than that,
Okay.
just because he deserves it. Right? He's 34 years old. He's had plenty of great seasons under his belt. His bat speed is still there, so it doesn't look like really an age thing. It kind of looks like a hitter that is swinging and missing too much, and that's kind of it. Right? Christian Walker is not a guy who's going to support a 32% strikeout rate for the rest of the year. It's not going to happen. Right? In
Yeah.
2022, 2023, he was below 20%. Last year was at 24%. He's not going to strike out this much. Right? You look at, some of his swing decisions, right? He's chasing more, might just be pressing. You're in a new ballpark, new team, big contract. You want to prove yourself. He'll start, getting back into the swing of things. I think he's going to be totally fine. Now, there's some other guys who we're going to talk about who I'm a little bit more concerned about that
Yeah.
maybe don't have, in my opinion, as much of a leeway as I'm giving them. But with Walker, I'm just like, yeah, you're swinging and missing too much. New place. He'll be fine.
Yeah. Pivoting to second base, this is another guy that I would be giving leeway, but he's been hitting the ball really well since he came back. Gleyber Torres signed a 1 year deal. It was an expensive 1 year deal with Detroit. It was a 1 year, $15 million contract after leaving the Yankees. And in his first 16 games as a non Yankee, Gleyber's hitting 281 with a 744 OPS. He struck out 6 times in 71 plate appearances. The most impressive thing about this start is not that he's playing in a pitcher friendly ballpark, is not that he's playing for, as it stands right now, the best team in the American League. It's that he missed 2 weeks with an oblique strain. Like he came back from an oblique and was hitting like this and has the bat to ball ability that, like he hasn't showcased too often. When was the last time he like really showcased this? 2023? And aside from that, maybe 21. Like he's always been a decent bat to ball guy, but right now, I mean, it feels like he is putting wood on everything, and he's a huge piece in the middle of that really good lineup right now.
What stands out to me for Gleyber is that I think he's making the best swing decisions that he's had throughout his career, right? We see that in the strikeout and the walk rate. His strikeout rate is below 10%, Jack.
Yeah.
8 point whatever percent. That's
Yeah.
elite. And with a guy like him, like he has the lowest swing rate of his career, and he's rocking the highest zone contact rate of his career.
Yeah.
The swing decisions. He's swinging at strikes and he's hitting strikes, right? It's not that he's hitting the ball way harder than he normally does. It's much of the same. It's just the balls that he is swinging at are exactly what he wants to do. So it feels like his plan. He's locked in.
Yeah.
That's what's shown out for Gleyber Torres for me. Is just that he's making perfect swing decisions.
When this lineup is at its best, he's the six hitter. He could be the
Probably.
two hitter,
Yeah.
but like he's the sixth guy that you game plan around. Javi Baez is the eighth, and I heard what you guys had to say about Baez, and I loved it. Like this lineup, all of a sudden, is really deep.
He's just a cog in the machine. And I think that's highlighted throughout the Tigers lineup. And I think that's why they're doing so well is everybody's just playing their role, right?
Yeah.
There's no superstar that they have to rely on. Riley Green is not even off to a good start and this offense is good, right? Everybody is doing their part. Gleyber Torres, Javier Baez, Zach McKinstry might win the Triple Crown. I mean, Spencer Torkelson, everybody's just doing their part. And Gleyber is just another cog in the machine.
Yep. A guy that like doesn't really fit our criteria in this conversation is Jorge Polanco. I said
Mm,
multi-year deals, big ticket free agent signings. He was not a big ticket free agent signing. He signed that deal with Seattle, didn't go well. He came back on a 1 year deal just under $8 million. There's a mutual option for 2026. And when he signed that, I think my gut reaction was it was really bad last year. Why would you do it again? Like Jorge Polanco in 118 games hit 213 with a 651 OPS. Why would they run it back at $8 million? That felt like a misallocation of funds. Seattle got something right, and Seattle saw something, and this guy has been balling this year. 20 games. He's only played 20 games, 75 plate appearances. He's hitting 377 with 7 homers and 20 driven in. So as many RBIs as games played. He has 26 hits and 69 at bats, and he's slashing 377, 405, 739. Cal Raleigh's been amazing. Andres Munoz has been the best pitcher by WAR in baseball, and he's a closer. But they're not in this position without Jorge Polanco. Let's make that very clear.
it's so funny because a lot of these guys, that maybe they made a simple tweak and now they're performing better, or they're a tweak away, right? Maybe Christian Walker is getting his feet wet, striking out too much. There are a couple of changes that he can make. I don't even recognize Jorge Polanco. Like, I don't know how to analyze this. I don't know how to analyze a guy who had a 37% hard hit rate last year and now is at 55%. I don't know how to analyze a guy who struck out nearly 30% of the time last year and is striking out 12% this year. I mean, what the fuck is that? This is a different player. So if he can maintain this, I mean, he's going to win the MVP, right? He's probably not going to maintain it. But if I'm a Mariners fan, what I'm excited about is, all right, can this guy strike out at 20% and have a hard hit rate at 40%?
Yeah.
Right? Just make marginal improvements in both of those areas, and then he could be a very solid hitter. But he's just blown way past that. You assume that he is going to eventually slow down a little bit, but slow down to what? And I think that's going to be one of the more entertaining things to watch this season. And another big reason why I bet on the Mariners to win the division about 3 or 4 days ago. I believe in this offense. Like the Mariners, they always have great starting pitching. You said it yourself with Andres Munoz. Like the pitching is great, the best in the division, but they can't hit.
Yeah.
This team has scored the most runs in their division,
Yeah.
right? So, and a big reason for that is Jorge Polanco, but they have other hitters throughout the lineup too. So, do I expect Jorge Polanco to take a step back eventually? Of course, but take a step back, how much? That's what I'll be watching.
Are you worried you were a day early on putting out the whole AL West thing? Because Logan Gilbert did go down with a flexor issue. Like, how concerning is that for you? It looks like it's a mid-June return, is what they're targeting.
It was so funny. I was talking with Lyle and TJ. Shout out the Marine Layer Pod. I was saying that I'm not worried because George Kirby is coming back, and if
Yeah.
any team can lose an ace, wouldn't you say it was the Mariners? When you already
Probably
have
because Logan Evans can come up and plug and play, and he went 5 innings, a two-hit, two-run ball at his debut.
Emerson Hancock has looked good. The fastball velo is ticking up as well. So they have two back end arms who they can fill in. And then, of course, you're going to get George Kirby back soon. Brian Wu looks better. Bryce Miller is awesome. Luis Castillo is coming off one of the best starts of his career. He looked phenomenal against the Fish. So, yeah, right? It's not good. We don't want to lose Logan Gilbert. But if I was a Mariners fan, would I rather lose Logan Gilbert or would I rather lose J Rod? Or would I rather lose Cal Raleigh? I know that's like a weird, bad
Yeah, it
conversation that
sucks.
nobody wants to
Yeah.
have, but I think everybody knows where I'm coming from. Where if
Yeah.
one team can lose an ace, it would be the Mariners. And
Gotcha.
luckily, the news isn't that bad, right?
Yeah.
Flexor Strain should be back in a couple of weeks, hopefully.
Yeah. All right. One of the big ticket deals this offseason was Willy Adames in
Mm.
San Francisco finally landing a big fish. And Willy Adames is on year one of a 7 year, $182 million contract. Adames, to this point, in 29 games, is hitting 202 with one homer and a 542 OPS. He's slashing 202, 279, 263. Well, you ask, what's the clear cut deficiency? The answer right now is kind of everything that isn't a fastball. He's hitting 230 against fastballs, and it's okay, but he's slugging under 300 against fastballs. Like, that's a problem. Breaking pitches, he's whiffing 40% of the time. He's 5 for 30 against breaking balls with two extra base hits, and they're both doubles. In off speed pitches, it's a tiny sample, but he's 1 for 9 with 5 strikeouts against changeups and splits. He's not seeing anything
Yeah.
right now, Adames. And I don't understand why you would be throwing him a fastball. Even if you do throw him a fastball and he gets it, it's not like he's going to hit it out of the ballpark right now. We were talking about this guy possibly being the first 30 home run giant since Barry Bonds. He can absolutely do that, but we're also a month into the season and he's got one homer. He he won't do it this year. It, it's probably going to end up being one of those really disappointing year ones. I have a lot of confidence in year two, but it's a lot like the adage, you can't win a division in April, but you can lose a division in April. You can't prove that a 7 year mega deal is a good deal in year one, but you can start the process of it looking like a bad deal in year one. And I think that's what's happening a month in.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say right now, but I think it's unfair to say to move anything past that versus this is going to be a bad deal, right? And I'm not even saying that you really said that. I'm saying more I've seen on social media morons are already calling this like a bad deal. Like they
No,
shouldn't have
you
done it at
can't do
all.
that. Again, like guys are really bad for months at a time. Like look at Julio Rodriguez at this point. Look at Alec Boehm last year. Alec Boehm was the best hitter in baseball at this date last year. And then he now looks like he should be sent to the gulag.
Yeah, I mean, but I give guys passes, especially when they go to a completely different place, right? We're going to talk about Anthony Santander, right? Going from Baltimore to a legitimate different country, right? Willy Adames went from the Trop to Milwaukee and now to San Francisco. Completely different ballpark. You're facing new pitchers all the time. Of course, everybody's facing new pitchers, but new division, new ballpark. It's definitely a pitcher-friendly ballpark over there. But the one thing that I don't really understand about Adames, I'm glad you brought up the breaking ball conversation because he's always crushed breaking balls. He had 32 home runs last year. 16 of them were against breaking balls and off-speed pitches.
Yeah.
Right? This guy can smack breaking balls all over the ballpark. But that's not even what I'm worried about. Why are you being so passive? Swing rate way down. Zone contact down. Pitches in the zone. He's not being aggressive in the zone, which is very unlike him because he's a guy who, when he's right, he's going after you, right? You can almost see it in his eyes. Aggressive hitter. Right now, he's being really passive, letting easy balls go right down the middle. It's
Yeah.
weird. I don't know why, but that's just what I've noticed so far. And then I saw it reflected in the numbers, and I'm like, all right, I'm not crazy. He's just being weirdly passive when I watch Giants games.
Yeah, I don't know what's really going on right now, but again, it could just be a weird funk that he's in the first 4 weeks. And, he flips the script today. Like that's baseball, and that's baseball this early in the season.
Yeah.
Things like I don't you start to get an idea of what could happen, but before that All-Star ballot actually opens up, there's nothing that you can take away from Major League Baseball, I don't think.
One more thing that I'm also concerned about, why is his defense so bad out of the gate?
Advanced metrics are so finicky
I know.
with a
But
tiny sample. Like, give me 3 months.
but it's weird to see him have -5 outs above average in a month in the first
Yeah,
percentile.
like that's bizarre. I have no
Bizarre.
idea what's going on right now.
Yeah, like when I've been watching Giants games, because we were talking about it, like the Cubs, Giants, and Tigers, I haven't been missing a game lately. Like I can't miss those games.
Yeah.
Those teams are too much
And the
fun to
Giants
watch.
are doing this. The Giants are arguably the hottest and best team in
Yeah,
baseball right now, while their $180 million shortstop is laying an egg.
and that's why I asked, like, why is he grading out so poorly defensively? Because when I watch Giant games, I'm not like, oh, Adames has been a hole. I mean, he
Yeah.
hasn't looked great, but I'm not. I didn't think he's the worst graded defender in the sport. That's not what I'm watching. So yeah, it's a weird stat that I saw that I was like, huh, doesn't make much
Yeah.
sense.
All right. Last infielder we got to talk about Alex Bregman to the Boston Red Sox. It was a long holdout right before we got a feel on Bregman. Um, and Bregman signed a 3 year, $120 million deal with the Boston Red Sox. How's this going to go? Match made in heaven. Through 29 games, Bregman is hitting 319 with 16 extra base hits, 22 driven in, and a 937 OPS. He's going to pepper the monster. He's going to work the dimensions to his favor. But Bregman seems so unbelievably comfortable right now. There was not a better fit for any free agent out there this offseason.
I think we're starting to see a little bit of a different version of Bregman, and I'm so here for it. I think he is sacrificing some swing and miss to get into his power a little bit more. I'm seeing more A swings from Bregman, where Bregman has always done such a good job of maintaining a super high in zone contact rate, never strikes out. But his strikeout rate is at 18%, which it hasn't been since his rookie year back in 2016, where he
Yeah.
barely played anyway. And he's also maintaining the highest hard hit rate of his career at 47%, a 7% increase from last year. So I think Bregman's like, you know what? I'm just going to start hitting rockets a little bit more. And if I strike out a little bit, all right, I'm still going to strike out less than 20%. Might as well get into it.
Yeah.
And
So
go ahead.
to your point, real quick, we're only 130 plate appearances in, but to back up your sample, strikeout rate's up 5%. Average exit velocity is up from 89.1 to 92.1. He's up
I like it.
3 miles an hour in his average exit velocity.
And remember when we were talking about how, oh my God, he's such a good fit for Boston, right? With that monster, and he's gonna hit so well there. And he has. He's got an OPS over 900 there. His OPS is actually better on the road than it is at Fenway. That's a stat for Red Sox fans right now. Like for all the he's just gonna be a Fenway merchant, and that's why he's gonna make so much sense there. He's got a higher OPS on the road than he does at home right now.
And it's kind of nice when you play 81 games at Fenway Park, but it
Yeah,
is really cool that a month into his Red Sox career, he's OPSing better on the road than he is at Fenway Park. So
100%.
really exciting stuff. We're going to get to the outfielders in a moment. Before that, our first break. First outfielder we got to talk about is the Canadian, Tyler O'Neill. O'Neill signed that 3 year deal with Baltimore this offseason. It was a 3 year deal worth $49.5 million. And O'Neill, through 18 games with the Baltimore Orioles, has a 670 OPS. He's hitting 215 with 2 homers. He's K'd 21 times in 74 plate appearances. And of course, Tyler O'Neill currently finds himself on the shelf. O'Neill is dealing with, as I pull this up, I just want to get the terminology right, neck inflammation. Is
That
this kind of
sucks.
the Tyler O'Neill deal right now? Like, it's okay, low batting average, high K rate, going to get hurt. You're hoping for that
Okay.
flash in the pan, but like, is this not just rinse and repeat with the last 7 years of the Tyler O'Neill experience?
So I love how you started off with that because this is the Tyler O'Neill experience. Welcome to it, Orioles fans. Tyler O'Neill is either 2022, 2023 version where he's got a WRC plus below 100, he's not hitting the ball hard, and he's striking out a ton. Or you get the 2024 or 2021 version or he's making tons of contact and that contact is hard and it's leaving the ballpark consistently. And that's when he's putting up big power numbers. He's got WRC plus at 130, 140. But instead, you're getting 2022 to 2023 Tyler O'Neill, where he's sometimes borderline unplayable,
Yeah.
right? Because he's not that great of a defender either in the outfield. I mean, he's still got, a strong arm, but that range isn't there anymore. And when he's striking out at that level and he's not hitting the ball out of the ballpark, you get a below average hitter and a below average defender, and you're thinking to yourself, what the hell am I doing? So, and we've seen this enough from him, and already the injuries coming up. Why would I think this is going to be any different from a 2022 to 2023 season for him? Right? I hope I'm wrong, because when Tyler O'Neill's sick, I always buy it.
You
When he's
love
sick.
Tyler O'Neill
I
when he's going right.
When he's playing well, he's awesome.
Yeah.
When he's playing well, he's awesome. I mean, he had 31 home runs in 110 games last year. Like, he's awesome. But when he's not, that's when the Tyler O'Neill doubters get to raise the flag and be like, let's just see what we mean, right? Yeah. So, yeah, the haters are winning.
Haters are winning as it stands right now.
Yeah.
We've got time. 10-day IL stint with neck inflammation. I don't know much about like the timeline surrounding Tyler O'Neill. I also don't know much about neck inflammation and how that lands on the injured.
I don't know shit about neck inflammation.
I remember Joe Mauer had a neck issue at the end of his career, and I was like, that sounds really painful. And then he ended up missing a few weeks, and then he was back, and it was brutal. But like, I don't know, there's just a lot of stuff there. He also still looks like an absolute hoss. So I don't know. Maybe all the trap workouts ended up getting to his neck. I have no idea. But yeah, time will tell with a 3-year deal. I just wonder if they get a year and a half within that 3-year contract of 2024 Tyler O'Neill, it's probably worth it at 3 years for 50.
That's why I said when he signed the contract, I was like, all right, if he can be 2024 Tyler O'Neill for half of it, it's a good deal.
You're going to punt 1 year. It's fine punting 1 year. And if you punt this year, it's okay. It sucks because the Orioles had, loftier expectations than what it looks like they're, going to achieve. But yeah, I'm with you. I think if you get all of 25 and maybe half of 20, or all of 26 and maybe half of 27 looking like 24 Tyler O'Neill, I think you're okay with that. And I think you sign that contract.
He could be so good in a short amount of time that sometimes, like when Tyler O'Neill is on an epic heater, he could have a good 3 months in this contract, and you'd be like, you know what, I'm fine that we signed him, because those 3 months could be so prolific. But Orioles fans are obviously hoping that it's much longer than a 3-month heater.
Yep. Quickest conversation ever. Jurickson Profar signed a 3-year, $42 million deal with the Braves. He has not played because obviously he tested positive for PEDs. Sucks. Michael Conforto of the LA Dodgers is the next one that we got to talk about. And Conforto, at this point, signing a 1-year, $17 million deal, has been not great. Through 25 games, he's hitting a .179. He has just 2 homers and a .627 OPS. I think we were expecting much more from Conforto after what he did with San Francisco last year. It was 130 games. He hit 20 homers, and it was at .760 OPS. He's got a ton of protection, and it may just be a Dodger bias thing where it's like, oh, they're the Dodgers, things are going to happen for them. They're a third-place team at the moment. I'm not concerned about the LA Dodgers because they've set themselves up for success. I'm not really concerned about Michael Conforto because he's the 8th guy that you have on the scouting report when you prep for the Dodgers.
Here's what I don't understand about Michael Conforto. You are hitting 7th, 6th, 8th in the lineup, whatever. You're seeing the most pitches you've ever seen in the zone. Of course you are. They're going to challenge you, right? They're either going to challenge Andy Pages. I don't even think they want to challenge Tommy Edman. They're not challenging anybody at the top. They're challenging you. They're challenging Max Muncy. Why do you have the lowest in-zone swing rate of your career? Why do you have the lowest swing rate of your career?
Interesting.
They are challenging you, and you're just not getting after it. I don't get it. Like with Adames, they're both kind of similar, even though you game plan for Adames. So with him, I can understand. You're getting different game plans, different park. I get it. Conforto, you're playing in California, so it's not that big of a change. You're staying in division. You're getting challenged, and you're not swinging. Why? So that's my analysis. It would more be a question to Conforto. What is making you so passive right now? Get after it. What do you got to lose?
Yeah.
Get after it. They're challenging you. Of course they are. It's you and Muncy, the only guys anybody can attack in this lineup. And because I thought Michael Conforto was going to be a fucking beast this year. I was like, this is perfect. Some guy that nobody cares about that just kind of walks into Dodger Stadium and puts up an 800 OPS. And we're like, oh, right. Michael Conforto
I
rakes.
thought this was just Jason Hayward again. Jason Hayward from 2 years ago. I thought that was going to be
I went almost a level above. I was
like
like, this is
Teoscar.
Teoscar. Like
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be, one of the best signings of the offseason. And so far he's just kind of being a pussy. Like, and the
I
reason
don't
I
think
can say
that's
that,
fair.
yeah, I mean, I just don't know why you're not being aggressive. And the reason I can say that too, he's making $20 million a year. He's got a perfect life. He's in Los Angeles. Like, he's doing totally fine, but he's being a
Yeah,
pussy.
I don't think you're I don't think you should be saying that.
Why not?
It's like I mean,
I should be calling people pussies. That's fine. I take it
yeah.
back. I
Yeah.
take it back, Conforto, but I don't understand why you're being so passive.
Okay. Yeah. I will accept that level of critique on
Yes.
Michael Conforto.
Yes.
Let's go to Soto, the big fish. Juan Soto obviously signing that $765 million contract. And so far, you look at the numbers and they're underwhelming for Juan Soto standards. It's been incredibly well documented. We've talked about it on this show several times. Juan Soto, through 28 games so far this year, is hitting 248, which is 3 homers. He's slugging 396, and he's got a 770 OPS. Now, you look at the strikeout and the walk rate at this point. Soto walks 17% of the time. That's pretty on par with where he's been in his career. He's usually 18, 18 and a half. You think that elevates a little bit. He's actually striking out less than he typically does in his career. It's a career punch out rate of 17%. He's going down about 14.5% of the time. The average exit velocity is pretty on par with where it's been when he's been at the peak of his powers, about 93 miles an hour. So you say, okay, what's the difference? Well, the difference is he's putting the ball on the ground 60% of the time. And the other difference, he's not the best hitter the world has ever seen against fastballs. Last year, Soto hit 333 with a 709 slug against fastballs. This year, he's hitting 250 with a 396 slug. That's good. It's totally good. He's going to put the ball on the ground against breaking pitches. That's okay. He's still going to hit him really hard. That's going to result in some homers, and it's going to result in a higher batting average than it should and a higher slug than it should. But fastballs, like, I'm just wondering where the fastball dominance has gone right now. And the answer may just be it's been cold in New York.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a month.
Yeah, I'm not. This is the guy. This is like the one guy who I don't care if he hadn't have a hit yet. I am not worried about him
But, like,
at
he
all.
looks good. It's just,
Yeah.
it's on the
It-
ground a lot, but that's
yeah.
okay.
He'll be fine. I mean, I remember having this exact same conversation in 2023 when he was with the Padres and he had an 800 OPS, right? 803 OPS. He was hitting 217 in his first month. I know he got traded at the deadline, but his first full season with San Diego struggled by his standards out of the gate.
Yeah.
And then I was like, how often does he do that? Because I remember right in 2024 with the Yankees, he started out hot, right? He had like a 960 OPS. But if you look back over his seasons, right? 2023, 803 OPS, 2022, 849, 2021, 870. 2019, 859. He's always kind of had his worst month in April, except for last year. And then in May, that second month with the Padres, he put up an 1100 OPS and was awesome, and then just rocketed his way to continue to be one of the best hitters in Major League Baseball. So if I'm a Mets fan, it stinks that he's not hitting right out of the gate. But of course, you can manage it when you have one of the best records in baseball. Like, you don't need his offense to be absolutely prolific right now. So if I was a Mets fan, seeing how good the pitching is, I'm okay with it right now. Like, get your bad month out of the way and then put up an OPS over 1,000 for the rest of the time. And I think he's going to do that. The one thing that I would be pissed off if I was a Mets fan, and I was pissed off as a Yankee fan, Padres fans were pissed off too. The defense is so shitty. I mean, you lose a ball in the sun, whatever. You drop a couple balls here and there. But it's like, And Mets radio is destroying this guy for what looks like to me, and I'm watching the same games they are, that it looks like there's a lack of effort out there. And I've seen it as a Yankee fan. Like, he infuriates you on defense, and that's going to be a thing. He's just not a good defender. He's terrible, right? He sucks in right field. It is what it is. Like, that's why, as soon as he signed that deal, you came on shouting on this podcast that it was a way overpay. And we
Yeah.
all agreed with you, because we understand the bat is generational. We understand that he's on a Hall of Fame track. We understand that he's one of the best hitters we have ever seen with our own two eyes. But he doesn't provide anything on the bases or defensively, so how could he be worth $765 million? No
Yeah.
matter how good the
He
bat
could be
is.
worth 500. He could
Yeah.
absolutely be worth 500. He could be worth 550, but 765 was a ton of money for somebody that
Yes.
does one thing better than most on the planet.
Yeah.
But it's also like it's not like he's Judge. Like,
No. I mean,
I understand that he's awesome, but it's not like he's Judge.
yeah, he's not Judge. I mean, there were times during the season where I'm like, he might be better than Judge, but no, I agree. He's not Judge. Judge
But
is
that
yeah,
is a guy. If Judge did literally nothing else, I would pay him $500 million if he was
yeah.
26 years old.
Kind of a
But
steal.
that's just my logical brain thinking.
Kind of a steal. 9
Maybe.
years, 360 for Judge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And we'll
Hell
see
yeah.
like, if his body deteriorates a little bit, but the way he takes care of it, I would not bet against Aaron Judge at any point. I think 9 for 360 can absolutely be worth it.
Also, I just realized we gotta stop talking about Aaron Judge in the Juan Soto conversation. I'm sure Mets fans are like, "Oh, shut the fuck up! Are you kidding me? Why are you
Sorry about it.
talking about him during our segment?" But
Sorry about it.
the main takeaway is, Mets fans, you're about to witness May and then into October the incredible hitter that Juan Soto is. I promise
Yeah.
you. He's gotten off to a bad start almost every single April except for last year. And then he just goes crazy. But the defense is going to infuriate you all season long. Just mentally prepare for it.
Got you. Okay, let's go up north. Anthony Santander signed with the Toronto Blue Jays. That Santander deal was a 5-year, $92.5 million deal. They have a club option in 2030. Anthony Santander, to this point, in 27 games, is hitting 179 with 3 homers and 9 driven in. It's a 302 slug and a 562 OPS. What's the difference? Let's look at the pitches. Anthony Santander last year against fastballs slugged 481 and he whiffed under 20% of the time. Against breaking balls, slugged 513 and whiffed 20% of the time. Against off speed pitches, slugged 575 and whiffed under 20% of the time. This year, fastballs, he's slugging 389, whiffing 30% of the time. Breaking balls, he's slugging 240 and whiffing 25% of the time. Off speed pitches, small sample, slugging 174, whiffing 25% of the time. So he's swinging and missing at each pitch type more, and he's not slugging more against any pitch type right now. Is this a new division thing too? No.
Yeah, so I'm going through a couple of different feelings on Anthony Santander. Number one, not a new division, you're right, but Baltimore to Toronto, right? You're in a completely new country.
Yeah,
It's
but
got to be
Toronto's been
different.
playing good ball
No, they have relatively. They're
relative
no
to their expectations. They've been
exactly
playing.
100%. And I don't know how much that is affecting him, but when I see a big change like that, I'm just like, I'm not really going to pay attention to your first month. Takes guys a minute to get settled in. New contract, a lot of pressure on you, right? Especially when the rest of your offense, nobody's really showing up, right? It's been
Yeah.
kind of like Vladdy and Bichette, even though Vladdy's not even off to that great of a start. Like, the offense in general for Toronto has just struggled. So
Has Bichette hit a homer yet?
I don't think so. I don't think his last homer was like May. That's a crazy
You still
stat.
believe in the bat?
Yeah, I'm never gonna not believe in the bat. He's gonna go through ups and downs. He's still good. But this is about Anthony Santander.
Yeah.
I just keep thinking to myself, it's unfair to call him a home run merchant because he did hit 44 last year, and that's not really what I mean. But what I do mean is, what if he's 2023 Santander, where he's got a 790 OPS and he hits 28 homers? He's a pretty good player. It's not really what you signed up for. You want the 40 plus home runs.
Yeah.
But he never hit above 33 in a
No,
season before he hit
you're not.
44
I
last year.
don't think you're banking on 40 plus in a given year. I think what you're hoping for when you sign Santander to this kind of year is a 22 and 23 hybrid. And that hybrid was about 30 homers, hitting about 250, OPSing about 780.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Kind of. Like, no, that is a good
I
bat,
think it's good. I think it's
obviously.
a good bat, and I think it's a bat that's worth the price point.
But when you don't play defense and you don't run at all, and like
And
you're
you're officially on
relying,
the other side of 30. Yeah.
yeah. And it does suck too because the Blue Jays need power. I mean, they're one of the teams in baseball that has the lowest amount of home runs hit on a team. That's, it's courtesy of Bichette. That's Vladdy only having 2 or 3 home runs on the season so far, and Santander only having 2 or 3 home runs as well. So, yeah, again, a part of me is like, oh, could this be a down season for Santander? But then another part of me is like, why am I having a takeaway with a guy in a new country, in a new spot, in the first year of a 5-year deal? Like, what am I even doing having a takeaway at all? So I'm in between on him. I don't know what to think.
Got you. I don't know what to think either. I'm going to give him a lot more time because it's
Yeah.
only been a month of, a multi-year deal. But I start to get a little concerned.
Yeah.
Let's go to Teoscar Hernandez, and this is a guy that I love. I thought this was a
Yeah.
perfect fit, and there are zero issues on this front. Teoscar Hernandez signed that 1 year, $23 million deal with the Dodgers last year. He was amazing. So they bring him back. 3 year, $66 million deal. It's a club investing option in 2028 and 2029. This guy has 3 multi-hit days in his last 5, has 3 homers in his last 4, and Teoscar Hernandez on the year is hitting 277 through 26 games with 8 homers, 25 driven in, and an 869 OPS despite walking 3 times in 105 plate appearances. He's going up there swinging,
Yeah.
and he's OPSing 30 points better than he did last year when he hit 33 homers and drove in 99. This guy is perfect for that Dodger lineup, and I can't get enough of watching Teoscar Hernandez play baseball.
Remember what I was talking about with Conforto, how they're challenging him in the zone? 50% is the highest, amount of pitches he's seen in the zone throughout his career. Teoscar Hernandez is at the same number, but one of them is taking advantage and the other isn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Teoscar is an 869 OPS. He's seeing the most pitches in the zone that he's seen throughout his career. And what's he doing with them? He's fucking crushing them. He's not striking out either. He's at 18% strikeout rate. So no wonder his walk rate is lower. He's seeing more strikes. Why would you walk when you're seeing more strikes? And then he's just fucking crushing everything. So yeah, Teoscar is awesome. I got no analysis other than the fact that Teoscar is doing what Michael Conforto should be doing. You're seeing more pitches in the zone, swing at him and crush him. That's what Teoscar's doing.
What is Joc Pederson not doing that you need him to do?
He's not doing anything. So it's like, what is the analysis here? He's swinging and missing more than he ever has. He's not walking. He's not hitting the ball hard. This looks like he is the exact opposite of Polanco. Where Polanco I don't recognize because it's like these numbers are nowhere near you've ever been. Joc Pederson, the same thing. These numbers are nowhere near you've ever been. So what's the analysis here? Like he's got to revamp everything? His swing is not that different, right? He's still Joc Pederson. I don't know what to think. Like, I don't know what to think. I mean, Marcus Semien is also one of the league's worst hitters to start as well. It's been a weird start for some of these Rangers bats. And then on the same side, Tyler Mahle is the best pitcher of all time. Rangers just having a weird season to start.
I don't know what the fix is for Joc, and it was a 2 year, $37 million deal. Joc Pederson was 2 for 4 on Sunday, which helps.
Yeah.
But like
Raised his batting average to 101 from
101,
077.
101, and he's slugging 174. So
Yeah.
he so far is 7 for 69 with 3 doubles and a triple. He has yet to homer when he hit 23 homers with Arizona last year and had a 908 OPS. You're right. It's so far away from the norm that there's
Yeah.
no analysis
Yeah.
there.
It's not like, oh, right, he's still hitting fastballs, but he's seeing more breaking balls, or he's just not hitting anything ever.
Yeah.
So what do we say? He's not hitting anything ever. That's like
Oh, well.
the analysis right now. And
Yep.
he'll be fine. I mean, I have too much trust in Joc Pederson. He's going through the worst stretch in his career. Not going
I
to get
also
on
give
him
the
when he's down.
Rangers, I give the Rangers like this benefit of the doubt thing, and I think that just comes from winning a World Series. I give you like 2 years. It's like, oh yeah, they're the Rangers. They're going to be fine.
No, I'm sure they'll be fine, and I'm sure Joc Pederson will be fine. It's just
Even last year, we hit like end of September, and I was like, oh, they're going to be fine. Don't worry.
they're like they're like
They're out of it.
15
They're
games under
15 games under
500,
500, and I'm like,
still
they're
in
going
the
to be fine.
hunt. Yeah.
They won the World Series last year. They're
Like
fine.
Jack, they're mathematically eliminated, and you're like, nah, they'll sneak back in.
They're fine. They're
Yeah.
good. They're good. Just got to give them a couple more weeks. Okay, we're going to go rapid fire through the pitchers to wrap, but before that, quick break. Corbin Burnes is the first pitcher we got to talk about. Corbin Burnes shocked everybody this offseason by going to Arizona on a 6-year, $210 million contract. Cy Young Award winner, ERA title in 2021. This guy last year, 194 innings at a 2.92. This year, tough sledding for him. 26 and two-thirds across 5 starts. He's allowed 24 hits, struck out 25 and walked 12. He's got a 4.05 ERA. It's funny, the strikeouts per 9 are the exact same. What's the difference? He's walking guys.
Yeah.
And Burnes is not in a position to walk people. I'm not concerned whatsoever because it feels like Corbin Burnes can will himself to quality starts, but you want those starts to be 7 innings a 1-run ball and not 6 innings a 3-run ball. And that's just kind of what we're getting from Burnes right now.
The thing with Burnes, and a lot of people have noticed this, is that his strikeout rate has been steadily declining year after year after year. So you talk about strikeout per 9 versus last year, right? It's not that different. 23% last year, 22% strikeout rate. But it was 25% in 2023. It was 30% in 2022. It was 35% in 21. It was 36% in 2020. So you see that natural decline there, which is understandable. But what I'm nervous about, I'm only nervous about one thing because Corbin Burnes is going to figure it out. He's going to.
Yeah.
His slider sucks. Like his cutter and his curveball are still, his bread and butter, but his slider, right? His slider last year was an incredible pitch. Opponents only hit 198 against it. It had a 46% whiff rate, which led all of his pitches in terms of getting swings and misses. His whiff rate on that pitch this year, Jack, is 8%. It almost feels like StatCast made an error. Like it's wrong. But it's just been hanging in the middle, and it doesn't have that same amount of just bite that it normally does. And it's just a bad pitch right now. So to your point, why you aren't nervous, I kind of agree because that seems like such an outlier, weird April thing that he's dealing with that has then resulted in an ERA at 4, which we never see from Corbin Burnes. So I think it's just getting back in the lab and figuring out that slider. And once he does, we're going to see Corbin Burnes be back again. But it is something to monitor right now because his slider sucks right now, which is weird.
Yeah, it is bizarre. Okay, let's go to a Dodger. Blake Snell signed the big Dodger deal this offseason. Obviously, Sasaki signed that IFA deal, so we're not going to talk about Sasaki. But Blake Snell, 32 years old, on the shelf with shoulder inflammation. Through 2 starts in a Dodger uniform, Snell, 9 innings, 7 runs, but 2 of which were earned, 5 unearned runs. He walked 8 in 9 innings, and he hit the shelf with a shoulder issue. With Glass now going down, Snell going down, like the Dodger nightmares are kind of coming true right now. Again, I'm never going to get worried about them because they have more reinforcements than most teams just have assets outright. But it's a little nerve-wracking, especially when you commit the type of money you did to him. It's a 5-year, $137 million contract.
I just think it's insane that the Dodgers can sign 58 free agents every single offseason and still have this same problem.
Yeah.
It's like, are you kidding me? How do we
Right,
not
like maybe
have
it's
any
an us
pitchers?
thing. Like maybe we're bad luck.
Maybe I don't get it. But yeah, I mean, there's not much to take away on Snell other than the fact that, he's hurt. But when he comes back, he'll probably be awesome. That's it.
Probably. Like I
Yeah,
was worried about
probably.
the walks, but again, like you can just immediately default to, oh, he was walking guys. Well, he was hurt, and the answer is yes, he was
And
hurt.
Snell's
Shoulder
also been
issue.
a guy who's normally gotten off to slow starts. And then you see, like in May, June, July, when he starts to be the best pitcher of all time, right in those short months. And then he
Yeah,
just dominates and gets on a heater. So I still think that heater is going to happen this year. And when it does, Blake Snell starting for the Dodgers, they are going to be an unstoppable team because Blake Snell can throw a no hitter on any given night. And that offense is going to score more than 1 run. So good luck.
yep. Okay, let's go to Max Fried here. And Fried is a resounding win. Max
Oh.
Fried, 31 years old, signed an 8-year, $218 million contract. First six starts as a New York Yankee, 37 and two-thirds innings. He's 5-0 with a 1.43 ERA. Opponents are not taking him deep. Two homers. He's faced 157 batters, struck out 33 and walked nine. And opponents are hitting 214 with a 577 OPS against him. Fried's been unreal. And I know you have to be doing backflips.
So I've always liked Fried. I always thought he was a really great pitcher with the Braves. I always thought he was one of the better left-handed pitchers in baseball, but watching him every day as a fan is a joy. It's a joy. Because not only does he have good stuff, he knows how to pitch, right? He's throwing the ball wherever he wants, and it's such a balanced approach this year because, he's always had a ton of pitches, right? He can go seven deep, but he's throwing the sinker more than he did last year. The curveball, the sweeper, and the changeup are all above 10%. His fastball looks really good. He's keeping the ball on the ground. He's not getting as many swings and misses as I would have hoped, but it's just clockwork for him. It's soft contact, it's on the ground. He's keeping the ball off the middle of that barrel, and he's just been so important for the Yankees. You lose Garrett Cole, you lose Luis Heel, right? We're watching Carlos Carrasco starts, even though he's been like pretty good somehow. Will Warren, a lot of these guys, and like we need an ace at the top, and Fried has done that and then some. It is just he's so fun to watch. Like again, I'll go back to watching him in the Braves. Like I liked him, but watching him every fifth day, it's a joy. He's a joy to watch.
Cool. Eovaldi. Let's go to Nathan Eovaldi with the Texas Rangers. He
Yeah.
re-upped with them. 3 year, $75 million contract. This guy's just a flat out dog, man. There's no other analysis to be had with Nathan Eovaldi. 35 years old. He's in year 14 of his major league career. And through six starts, he's got a 2.21 ERA in 36 and two-thirds innings. Not only are opponents hitting 183 against him, he struck out 38 and walked three. At some point, I don't know when, but at some point, he became one of my favorite pitchers in baseball just because he posts every fifth day after two Tommy Johns and is just carving dudes left and right. This is all he does every time he gets the ball. He's like a get outs guy that Data likes. There's this blend of just beauty from watching Nathan Eovaldi pitch a baseball game that I love.
And then he just shoves in the playoffs too. Nathan Eovaldi is awesome. And the only analysis that I'll bring to the table for him is like he's kind of reinventing himself a little bit because his velocity is down, right? He was averaging 95.4 miles an hour. We remember Nathan Eovaldi. There were times where he was averaging 98 right in his fastball. This year it's 93.6. So you'd expect, well, velocity is starting to go down for a guy who primarily relies on velocity. He might be in for a tough start, but he's pitching almost better than he ever has been because the splitter is his now main offering, but it's the curveball. Like this was not a pitch that Nathan Eovaldi threw all that much. He only threw it 13% of the time in 23, 13% of the time last year. Now he's throwing 22%, and it's got a 42% whiff rate, the highest of his career too. So he's throwing the splitter more. He's bringing in the curveball, and it's been awesome. So even with a lack of fastball velocity, he almost looks better. This is just a veteran who understands himself, understands how to pitch. Rangers got a great one in him.
And like they retained a great one too. Credit to Chris Young for knowing
Yeah,
that they had to retain a great one, and they did. So
had to.
awesome. Yusei Kikuchi, like, listen, the Angels thing, it was fun for about a week and a half, but Kikuchi, he's been throwing for the Angels
Hey,
who are on a skid. What?
come on. It was more than a week and a half. It was like
It
two
was
and a half
2 weeks. It was
weeks.
2.5 weeks. Okay, sorry, I undershot our timeline of Angels optimism by about 4 days.
Yeah.
But Yusei Kikuchi so far this year, six starts, a 4.31 ERA, 31 and a third. He struck out 28. He's walked 18. That's over five walks per nine on a start by start basis. Like I thought I would be moderately intrigued by tuning into a Kikuchi start at some point, and I just can't really bring myself to do it.
So I was intrigued last year and I'm not this year. And a big reason why velocity, right? Eovaldi has a velocity dip and it hasn't affected him because he's made some changes. But Yusei Kikuchi was absolutely electric last year. He was averaging 95 and a half miles an hour. And his slider was so disgusting because not only did it move a ton, but it was at 88 to 89. This year he's throwing 94, and that slider is down to 86.5. And the whiff rate has, of course, gotten a lot lower because it's not as fast, right? So he's a guy who relies on velocity. He has to be throwing in the mid to upper 90s with a breakaway slider that's moving close to 90 miles an hour. But when he's at 94 and 86, he's hittable. And that's
Yeah.
what's shown up so far. And to be fair to Kikuchi, his ERA was 3.38 before that start against the Twins, and then vaulted up to like in the mid fours now. So he was pitching pretty well, but over the full season, this is something to monitor. If he's 94 and 86 versus 96 and 88, that's not the same guy, and we shouldn't expect the same numbers from last year.
That's much better analysis than anything I could have possibly given you. So I appreciate that. I like for me, it was just no, I don't think I want to tune in anymore to
I think
Kikuchi.
I think it's because I have been interested in Kikuchi and you haven't. So that's what I'm noticing is
Sure.
because I was like into him and you never were. So you're like,
Sure,
he is what I thought he was. And
for
for me, I'm
me,
like, what's happening?
yeah, for me, he's just confirming that I had no interest in watching this guy. I
Yes.
was like, oh, the ace of the Angels is here. Are we
Yeah.
sure? I don't know. I don't think so. Couple more arms. Jack Flaherty of the Detroit Tigers. This guy is back where he found that career renaissance at the beginning of last year on a 2-year, $35 million deal. Flaherty has been very good through 5 starts back with the Tigers. A 2.63 ERA in 27 and a third innings. He's K'd 34 and walked 9. Opponents are hitting a buck 90 against him. If a good thing's a good thing, like just let it happen. And I think Flaherty found a good thing with the Dodgers, right? After the deadline, you were assuming that it was a flip deal that the Tigers had with Flaherty when they brought him in. And I think he might have done like an honest assessment this offseason and said, where am I going to be good? Where am I going to be happy? And the answer is Detroit. That's what he found at the beginning of last year. It's cool that he realized that the grass was pretty damn green where he came from. And that was going to be the right move for him. I don't know if that was the most expensive deal that was out there or just the perfect fit for him. But Flaherty, like, it seems like he and Detroit are this match made in heaven, and I love what they got going on.
Speaking about honest assessments, this is a guy who I've been wrong about. I was not a fan. Um, and I was I thought I was right when he signed a short-term deal with the Tigers. I was like, the market is seeing what I'm seeing. This fastball is not going to last. He can't survive at 92. But
Yeah.
you know why he's proving me wrong, Jack? I think he's got two 70 grade breaking balls. And it's just, you can't hit those breaking balls. And then the fastball then plays up because you have to be alert for this elite knuckle curve and this great slider. He's getting so many swings and misses on those pitches, so he's able to pitch at 92 with a below average fastball because probably you're never sitting on it.
Yeah.
You have to be ready for those breaking balls. So that 92 can then just blow past you because you're not sitting on it. So that's
And it
something
plays
that I've
well at
just
the top of the zone. Like it's one of those
exactly.
that just kind of takes off. Yeah.
So I've just been wrong about Flaherty because I was so focused on the fastball quality that I continually overlooked how good the breaking balls are. And that's why he continues to thrive because his breaking balls are fucking awesome.
Yeah, I think he's just pitching a bit more like a vet than we've ever seen him pitch before. And I think last year was kind of the start of that veteran transition for him, where he was not trying to blow people away. He was actually just pitching and he was trying to win chess matches. And this year it does feel like it's okay, I'm a chess master now. Let's do this. Let's become that chess master.
Speaking about that, another cool development for him is the changeup. He's only thrown 17 to lefties all year, so it's not a pitch he uses much, but it's got a 67% whiff rate. Had an 11% last year. It's
Wow.
not a pitch he throws that much, but right now that pitch is also getting tons of swings and misses. So if you have to get ready for a knuckle curve and a slider, you already know there's elite pitches, and then it'll give you a little taste break and change up, and you're just flailing at it. No wonder the fastball is fine. That's the
Yeah.
last thing in the mind of anybody,
Yeah.
which is why it works. So I was wrong about Flaherty. I've been wrong about the Tigers. I'm just fucking, I can't. I was I was all in on Torque. He wasn't doing well. I was like, oh, now I'm out on him. Now it's his best season ever. I was way out on Javier Baez, best season in a while.
Listen,
Yeah,
if the Tigers are your twins, I'm fired up about
yeah.
that.
No, they
The
are
Twins.
my Twins.
I
I
did
can't
like
get
sitting
this.
out on the Twins this year because I was not ready to say, "Oh, they suck." Here we go.
Swept the Angels. I said on the last show, I can't quit them. Can't quit them, Jack.
Yes, you can.
And
You
people,
can
the
quit them.
first
You
comment
can't quit
was,
the Angels, and you can't quit the Twins either.
the first comment was, "Good job, Peter, on the L's." And I was like, "What else?" All the comments, the Twins. Why won't you quit them? I'm standing on it. I don't care if the audience calls me an L.
Sure,
You and I,
whatever.
Twins fans, we're riding into death together.
I love it. All right, couple more arms here. Nick Pivetta signed that 4-year, $55 million contract with San Diego. Pivetta, 32-year-old, has been unfreaking believable. 30 innings through 5 starts. He's got a 1.20 ERA. He struck out 30 and walked 7. Opponents are hitting 155 against Pivetta, and they're slugging 214. That's a 421 OPS against him so far this year, and he's faced 111 guys. I knew this was going to be a good deal. And like, listen, we have a long way to go in a 4-year, $55 million contract, but early returns, this guy is a large part as to why the Padres have started as one of the best teams in baseball.
The one thing I've noticed about Pivetta, which is really interesting, and something that has been his kryptonite throughout his career, is the home run ball. Pavetta's always been one of the league leaders in home runs allowed.
It's four-seam fastball at the top of the zone. That's why it's going to happen.
Makes sense, right? This year, he's allowed one home run in 30 innings. His home
Yeah,
run to fly ball rate is 2.9%. Over
that's
the
crazy.
previous years, it's been 15%, which is why his XFIP hasn't really changed throughout the years. Like, XFIP thinks he's just going to be a 3.5 ERA guy. Like,
Yeah.
and that's just been his XFIP kind of no matter what, right? He's got a 1.20 ERA right now. His XFIP is near that. He had a 4.5 ERA a couple of years ago, 3.5 XFIP. Like, once that home run to fly ball rate normalizes, he's kind of just this pitcher. Like, when he's on a roll, he's dominant, but when he starts giving up home runs, that's what can bite him. So if he can avoid the home run ball this year, he's a borderline ace. Like, that's how good he can be, right? If he's pitching to a 3.5 ERA this year with tons of strikeouts and plenty of innings, that's a borderline ace. So can he avoid
Uh,
the home run ball?
a
Of course it is.
3-5.
3.5. Let's say he throws 175 innings at a 3.5 with 100
I
with
don't think that's an ace. I think it's a frontline starter, and I think that they
borderline
should have had
ace.
a frontline starter. Well,
Frontline starter,
I think he's
borderline
no. I
ace.
think he's a 2. I think that's a solid 2. Ace
Yeah.
hood is reserved for the guys that can give you a sub 2.
You mean sub 3?
No, I think ace hood is
Sub
reserved for
2?
guys that it's like if the stars align, they can give you a sub 2. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, I mean, no
Chris
one's going to.
Sale, like the stars aligning. Strider, the stars aligning. Can you close your eyes and see a sub 2 ERA?
Yeah. Well, Pavetta does have a 1.20 ERA, so
Yeah, we're
technically,
five
yes.
starts in. Five
Still.
starts in.
No, I know, but I think that's the thing to watch with Pavetta. Is he going to give up home runs this year or not? Because if he
Yeah.
doesn't, he's going to be a frontline starter.
Okay, let me say realistic 2-5. Okay, close your eyes and see a sub 2. That's the way that I do it. But I will say realistic 2-5. Eyes open 2-5. I think that's an ace.
I see what you mean, but I think you're still like. Then there's
You
like
think I'm under? You think I'm overvaluing the term
no.
ace?
I think that by your criteria, there would be like 6 or 7 aces in
Yeah,
baseball.
I think there are about 10.
Okay, so we just
I
have
don't think there are 30. I think there
that's
are
fair.
10 aces in baseball.
That's fair.
Yeah. So that's my criteria. Okay, let's go to Luis Severino. He kind of got paid like one. He's not one, but Sevy, a 2-year, $45 million deal as a player option as well. Severino's pitching well, man. He leads the American League in innings pitched to this point. He's made 6 starts. In 38 and two-thirds innings, he's got a 3.49 ERA. I think Sevy's just kind of learned how to pitch like Sevy
Yeah,
over the last few years. I thought this is just kind of a continuation of his Mets year, and I like keeping tabs on Sevy when he's on the hill.
he's a pitch to contact guy. He's changed the way that he pitches. And after all these injuries, right, with the Yankees when he first came up, I couldn't get enough of this guy because he was 100 blowing past guys. I mean, I'm just looking at the numbers right here. Like in from 2017 to 2021, I mean, this guy was posting a strikeout rate at 30% with a high at 36%. Right now it's at 18, but he can still be an effective pitcher because he's keeping the ball on the ground. He's keeping the ball off the middle of the barrel. He's got a bunch of different pitches, and that sweeper is disgusting. That sweeper is awesome, but he's a sinker fastball guy. He's just going to be a solid arm, just like he was on the Mets. Probably
Yep.
pitch to a high threes, low fours. He's going to throw a ton of innings for you, right? He's a guy who can go 7, 8 innings because, he doesn't walk that many people. There's not many 3-ball counts. He wants you to put bat on ball, keep the ball on the ground. He's going to be a really solid pitcher.
Yep. All right. Our last starting pitcher, I'm just going to skip. It's Frankie Montas, who signed that
Yeah.
1-year, $17 million deal. And of course, you have an option in 2026. He hasn't thrown yet this
Yeah.
year, so
What
we're
can you
just
do?
kind of opt out of that conversation. We could do the fart noise thing like we did for Profar, but
Yeah, but
uh,
Profar got suspended for PEDs.
Profar got
Not
suspended.
Montes' fault that he just got hurt.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So let's go to Tanner Scott here. Tanner Scott obviously signed that mega deal as a reliever with the Dodgers. It was a 4-year, $72 million contract. It's a vesting option in 2029. Tanner Scott, to this point, 14 appearances. He's got 8 saves so far this year. In 14 innings, a 2.57 ERA, 4 runs. He's allowed 2 homers. 13 strikeouts in 14 innings. The number that really jumps out to me, Tanner Scott hasn't walked a guy. He's faced 51 hitters and he hasn't walked a guy. What did
So
the Dodgers figure out in terms of his timing? Like, he's always been somebody that's walked people, and he's been really good.
I think that's a small sample thing. You might
Okay.
be right. That would be something that I would have to dig into more. I'm not sure, but here's why I'm a little bit concerned. Like that's a positive takeaway, absolutely, but kind of similar to Kikuchi, not as much, but Tanner Scott operating at 95.9 miles an hour versus averaging 97 last year is not ideal, especially when you got 2 pitches. Like I need those BBs at the top, but I need them to be in the high 90s. I can't have them in the mid 90s. Right? Opponents hit 134 against his fastball last year. They're hitting 265 this year with a 417x WOBA. So even a slight downtick in velocity, that fastball can be more hittable. Now the slider is still diabolical, even though it's down in velocity too, right? It was 88
Yeah.
and a half last year, 87.6 this year. But still, the slider is great. I have no problems with the slider, but it's the fastball velocity that I'm looking at if I'm a Dodgers fan. Like, I want to see him 97 to 99. I don't want to see him 95 to 96. But when he's 97 to 99, that's when you get a 1.75 ERA. If he's 95 to 96, he'll probably be a high twos guy.
Yep.
Again, splitting hairs. He's going to be great regardless. But to be the truly elite guy, the guy that you signed for a multi-year deal, the guy that you think could be the best reliever in one of the best pens in baseball, it's got to be 97 to 99.
Yeah.
But he's still good even at 95, 96.
Yeah, I think he can be good at 95, 96 because the characteristics are just
Exactly.
absolutely insane. And I think that he will tick up like once you kind of get into the throes of the season. And we're going to be watching this guy in June, like pumping 98, 99 miles an
Yeah,
hour.
I'm
I
sure we
do
will.
feel pretty confident in that.
Yeah.
2 more guys here. Jeff Hoffman of the Toronto Blue Jays. Hoffman signed that 3-year, $33 million contract. Hoffman's been one of, if not the best reliever in baseball. Andres Munoz has been the best reliever in baseball, but Hoffman has probably been the second best reliever in baseball to this point. Hoffman, 13 and a third innings. He's got 6 saves, 2 earned runs in 13 and a third, 19 punchouts, and 1 walk. Hoffman's been amazing. I thought they were going to do the starter thing when they first signed him. Then, like, I feel like we didn't have full clarity on how they wanted to use him until we got into the season. And now they just want to use him like one of the best closers in the game.
First off, the Randy Rodriguez erasure when talking about the
Sorry.
best
Yeah, sorry about that.
relievers is extremely disrespectful. No, I'm just kidding. And you're forgetting about Fernando Cruz, who has been fucking awesome
Sure,
for my
yeah.
Yankees. But no, Jeff Hoffman has been arguably one of the best relievers in baseball, which is, I think, like if I'm a Blue Jays fan, this is a better signing than anything, just
Yeah.
for my mental health. Because you get to the end of the game, and Blue Jays fans, I mean, they can have a 5-run lead, they don't feel good, but now they have a 1-run lead and they feel good with this guy coming in. Of course, Yimi Garcia has been awesome too, but Hoffman is just such a dog, and he's made a pitch usage tweak as well. The slider was his most used pitch last year, and it was awesome. And now it's playing up even more with a 60% whiff rate because he's throwing his four seam and his splitter more than that slider, right? He cut down his slider usage by about 14%, and it's working better for him. Fastball is playing at the top, looks awesome. Splitter is unhittable, and the slider is one of the best pitches in baseball. This guy's unhittable right now.
He's amazing. And then last but not least, Clay Holmes of the New York Mets. He was a reliever when he signed this contract. He's a starting pitcher now, and Holmes has like found this starting pitching thing. Clay Holmes to this point, after signing that 3 year or yeah, it's a 3 year deal, two for 26, and he got that player option as well. Clay Holmes, 6 starts, 30 and 2/3 innings at a 3.64 ERA. 36 punch outs and 30 and 2/3. He is walking about 4 hitters per nine. But what did we talk about with Clay Holmes? We need that ball on the ground. That's why he's going to be a very good pitcher. With the Yankees, he was rolling ground balls at 70% clip over his 3 years in their bullpen. This year it's at 55, and I'll tell you, like, it feels like it's even higher. I think this guy could be a 60% ground ball rate guy while also striking dudes out. And I understand that he's got issues at the end of starts. He's learning that. It's a new thing to him
Yeah.
going this deep into games. Through the first 4 or 5 innings, each time he gets the ball, I'm like, wow, man, this guy is great.
Yeah. He's always been a sinker, sweeper, slider guy, but it's this. One word. This is the takeaway from him. The kick change. He's learned it this offseason, and it has just been diabolical. I mean, his changeup is now his second most used pitch, and opponents are hitting 150. It's a pitch he learned, and it is now his best pitch. It's got a 38% whiff rate, and when guys do make contact against it, it's 89 and it's on the ground. So
Yeah.
nobody's making good. You're either swinging and missing, or you're putting it soft on the ground. And then when you have three other solid pitches, you're going to be very successful. Now, is he going to be Framber or Logan Webb where it's 200 innings, 60% strike ground ball rate? No. Is he going to be 160 with similar numbers? Yeah. I think it's just going to be one of those two guys in less innings this year, right? Just this year as he grows as a starting pitcher. And
Yeah.
then next year, it might be 190 innings at the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
this is one of the best signings of the offseason by far.
No doubt. That's our show.
That'll do it. So, well, I got my last word.
Oh, yeah.
Got
What's
my
your
last
last
word
word?
real quick. So I saw this fact on TikTok and I was like, what the hell? So here's my last word. So my sense of time when it comes to dinosaurs is all screwed up.
Okay.
Dinosaurs roamed the earth for about 165 million years, going extinct about 66 million years ago.
Yeah.
Did you know that T-Rexes are closer in age to the iPad than the Stegosaurus? Yeah, think about that for a second. T-Rexes are closer in age to the iPad than they are to the Stegosaurus.
So you mean what
The
you're
distance
saying
in
is
time,
the T-Rex
yes,
became a thing
about 80 million years ago.
after the Stegosaurus went extinct. Like
No,
the
so
the difference between the Stegosaurus going extinct and the T-Rex being born is larger than the difference between the T-Rex going extinct and the iPad being born.
correct.
That blows my freak because
Right?
I assumed like, oh, we were told about the era of the dinosaurs, like
Yeah.
this is the age of the dinosaurs. I just assumed they all existed at the same time, and like
Yeah.
one of them was in Indiana and the other was in
Yeah.
Kansas.
But no, they were around way longer than I
That's
thought for
crazy.
so long. Not only were they so long ago when dinosaurs first roamed the earth, but then they roamed the earth for an absurd amount of time.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that was my last word. It was
Yeah,
kind of
I like that.
entertaining.
That's a really good one.
So hopefully everybody enjoyed this episode of the Just Baseball Show. Unfortunately, we do not have an interview on Wednesday, which is our flex day. So there will be no episode tomorrow. But then, of course, all of us will be back Thursday and Friday, for our normal 4 episode a week schedule. And in the meantime, you want to join the Discord because the Discord ain't stopping just because we don't have an episode on Wednesday. Join through the link in the episode description. While you're down there, go check out the merch store. The merch store is sick. Of course, I'm rocking my hat. I will give Jack a pass for this one. He is literally in the booth, so
I'm on the
he's not going
clock.
to be
Yeah.
wearing Just Baseball merch, which I understand. But go get yours in the episode description. Also, rate and review Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the best way to support without spending a dime, as well as commenting, liking, and subscribing on YouTube. For Jack McCullen, I'm Peter Apple. We will see you on Thursday. And with that, thank you, everybody.